Very good point. What's the web code? If you get to Baba when you will move, they're going to go back to the number. Then we're going to say, let me try a bit. Get them Karuka Uma in a fair election. The government is to work. So $1 billion to the boy, for their country.
Tulonde ku mugongo. Ngere nambo le basindi asimbewo. Afuna bulungu butano.
Yefu nakugamba akalulu kafuka genda kuzalira ebitukula ng'owaka nakatiraba. Nakugamba akalulu kagenda kukoza gwewo katiraba. Nze nakugamba nga njogera nga mulanzi. Obadde kindi jjanosa ku lutale. Nakugamba ku Saamugamba nga wooli, ne mugamba Jeff ogenda koggo gwewo lwa akalulu. Bali bafina mugerwa bakuwabya. Katiraba byolimu. Buli obululu yabugyewa. Buli obululu yabugyewa, Sindi yabugyewa. Ulira. Ulira. Uncle Jeff, wamageza Saamu ng'asaaga. Yimirizaawo Saha n'ejentu wa Sindi wali. Olabe ebiri wano n'ebiri awo bye muva okuteeka. Ebyo naawe nedda Jeff nakugamba bafina mugerwa bagenda kukozesa ensobi. Kati bo bali eri baseka ng'oli eno obonaabona. Bali nnyo.
I'm an IT specialist. The system, if somebody can vote 3 times, must have done it. I can prove anybody. Nita vya Jeremie. Nita
DJ Akazindalo
kukumi kwa Mungu bannamawulire mukwata buli kintu muwandike okulimba kwa Uganda bakukuma kwa Mungu tunuzali kamera tunuzali anti omusirikale yayimba nambemu ye musirikale
So many other agencies of government. So when the elections kicked off, it slowed down, and many members were unable to vote, whereas some were able to vote. So we took action immediately to try and correct what was happening. We had a backup system we had already built, but we put it aside as a redundancy measure, and we activated it. It took a bit of time to activate it, but we did activate it, and we activated another option of web. We shared the links with the members. The members have been voting successfully, and there's a lot of evidence to that effect. So we did not stop, we slowed down. Whether these elections are free and fair, we have made best efforts to ensure that they are free and fair. And to do that, part of the plan and the program indicated that we will run these elections from morning 9 up to 5 p.m. We will have an hour to verify. We have invited random witnesses who will attest to the whole process, and we are happy to take any feedback. In fact, we have a complaint procedure which has already been outlined. We have a tent dedicated to that. We cannot say that everything has been very smooth. The unplanned slowdown was not intended. However, we are committed to ensure that this election is free and fair. As you may be aware, when it comes to elections, candidates are not confirmed winners or losers until there are no petitions. And our process is that we will announce results at the end of the day. However, there is room for petitions, there is room for any complaints. We have two options: immediately and within 7 days. The proposal to postpone the elections, we do welcome it, but probably you're not aware of the background of why we decided on these elections. UMA, for your information, UMA is a young organization that is under-resourced, and the background to this is that at the beginning of this election, 3 months back, the policy board, which is the section of the organization that is responsible for sustainability, planned the elections, and the original budget was for a ballot election, physical ballot, and because UMA is countrywide, we were unable to raise the funds necessary to carry out that kind of election. And then we resorted to the second option, which was to plan an election where we would just line up. But still, even that kind of election required a lot of resources. We shared this with the members. And our third option was the digital election. And we resorted to that because we realized that was much cheaper. We tried to fundraise, and we were unable to acquire the resources. So we had two options: to carry out a digital election as our last resort, or to postpone these elections into the future until we are able to raise the funds. So we said if we can carry out a digital election, we got the partnership with the National Information Technology Authority, and they offered to build for us the voting system, which they did. We tested it for about a month. The members were able to try and demonstrate that they could vote. And today, we were able to erase all the trial votes, and we demonstrated that the system kicked off clean, and there were no votes in the system, and we were able to start on a clean slate. There are challenges, but like all new things, sometimes challenges are there. And in general, as a country, we have a lot of challenges. We appreciate all these suggestions, but these suggestions come with a lot of responsibility, and that requires most especially raising resources to make them happen. So as of now, as the head of the electoral committee of UMA, I have been tasked with the responsibility from the policy board to ensure that we run these elections with the resources available. And this is what is happening as of now. We have a lot of room to audit the election in case any of the members, the candidates, are not satisfied. And we have a complaint procedure. We are very transparent. Because this is a digital election, there's aspects that are technical, and we are happy to take an audit team that would like to verify any of the data. And we promised that 2 months before. We have promised in every engagement that we will honor any efforts towards demonstrating free and fair election, and we still stand by that same commitment up to now. There are concerns, but we must move forward, and the position as of now is that the election is still time. The elections are slated to end at 5 p.m. We will take an hour to process the results. These results will be processed in partnership with the agents, the observers, and any witnesses who are here. That's our current position.
Well, thank you. Three fundamental issues here, great concern. One, much as the electoral process is digital, I'm sure you must be having at least hard copies of the voting materials, say the voters register. Can we access it? That is one. Can we have a list of the voters register? Two, there must be at least, please.
Can we have silence, please?
There must be a voters register. Can we have a look at the same? At least that one to establish who is eligible and who is not. And two, our client here, you know he's a candidate. He has failed to download that app you are talking about. And he has not cast his vote as we talk right now. May we know whether he is now going to be disenfranchised, that is not going to participate in the electoral process, because the system has totally failed. Three, the process of accreditation to get who is eligible and who is not. How is it being conducted here? How do you accredit the voters and say this one is eligible and this one is not? We want to also establish that. Finally, you have said the system slowed down. We would like to know the magnitude of that breakdown and how it has impacted the electoral process. Because if indeed there was that technical glitch and the electoral process is digital, essentially it means you couldn't proceed. It was also not, you're saying it was not foreseeable. NITA is a government agency, we accept that. And it was not foreseeable that a government agency would suffer such a setback. But if it has happened in law, here we call it an act of God, a supervening factor, the force majeure. So how do you handle that in a situation? In a situation where the only platform you have to conduct an election has suffered that breakdown. That is the only platform, because you have no manual system. You only have a digital platform, and it has suffered that setback. Under those circumstances, if it has slowed down, under those circumstances, how do you proceed with that? And the final thing is, you said yes, you didn't have sponsors, you very much wanted to have a manual election, to have ballot boxes brought here and ballot papers, and everything is done in a transparent manner. You only opted for a digital system because of want of resources. At what stage was that decision taken of having a digital election? And how would the candidates know that now it's no longer viable for us to have a manual election, we are going in for a digital one? And that is, and ensuring that all the eligible voters participate in this process. Maybe first deal with that set of questions.
Thank you very much. These are great questions. I wish you had engaged with us much earlier. We would have appreciated most of the information that you asked about. Starting with the first one regarding the voter register. Because this is a digital election, we focus on publishing most of the content digitally. However, the first draft of the register was published and is available at our office. But because our members, the physical one, it's available at our office, and we published it through a press conference, and we informed all our members about its availability. However, from the time we published it to the time of the election, we moved into from phase of publishing it to another phase of corrections. What does that mean? It means that the register was compiled based on the member information that we had on our files. As in, UMA is an organization that has been around for a couple of years, and during those years we've been registering members. And these members were registered during that time. At the time when we published that register, we were not aware of the state of health of the register. So from that stage, when we published it, we began a second phase of corrections to that register. Some of these corrections included that some of the members, at the time they registered, they had old numbers, and we asked them to give us their updated phone numbers, but their names remained. Some of these members had misspellings on their names, and we were fixing these, but the list of members remained the same. We also noticed that some of the members, whereas they had been registered at the time, they did not register contacts attached to their registration. Yes, go ahead.
This is Saha's agent, who was designated to oversee the process on his behalf, and she's been here since morning. How would she tell that so-and-so is a voter without having access to that physical voters register?
Thank you very much. Let me explain. Silence, please. Silence. So this register was published digitally, and all our members, we have their contacts, and we were sent SMSs with a link to this register. This is a permanent link that is available to all members and is accessible up to right now. You are free to go and download it and examine it. This register, all the members here can attest that they've received a link to this register. And the same register, if any of them down... Listen members. Security, please remove anyone that's complicating the situation. Thank you. Now, the voter register, as published, is still available for auditing. It's the same results that we're going to use here are available for auditing. So the register is accessible digitally, and the links can be shared. Unfortunately, we are having this conversation. We should have this as a post-mortem, but we're in the middle of the election. But for purposes of putting your concerns to rest, let me quickly answer the other questions. Regarding access to the voting system. The voting system is supposed to run on the USSD platform, which is on *260#. That was the primary voting platform, and many members were able to use it to vote. Some were unable. So when we had experienced the slowdown, we immediately activated our backup system we had already built, which is a web-based system, and many of them have used it to vote right now in the last 1 hour or so. And it's still active. Voting is still happening until 5 p.m. Voting is still going on. Unable to access the system using the *260# are now using the web system, and they are successfully voting. We are using the servers are elsewhere. They are government servers and they are running. When the system, when people are still able to vote on their phones. The screen, I'll explain. Let me give an example of a computer. When a computer, like a typical desktop computer, if you can turn off a monitor, but that doesn't mean you turn off the computer. So the screens you're seeing here are displaying what is happening, but they're not for transparency, but they're not for the voting engine. Which are referred to as postage. And when this happens, nobody has control over that. When power goes and it's beyond our control, the voting still continues and people can vote. Anyone who hasn't voted now can still vote. So the system is still capturing the votes. It's the display that goes off, but the voting still runs. And even when the display went off, the voting continued. Members did not stop voting. All of that now power is back, and the system still continues where it stopped. That's what I'm explaining. That listen, it's my time to talk. Listen. I am explaining. I'm still explaining. I am still explaining. The voting is separate from the display of the voting. The engine that powers the voting does not shut down because it's not running here. It's running on internet servers. So it has not stopped from the time it started. However, the display, for purposes of the audience that is here, can be turned off. But the internet servers are still running. There is a difference. Now, that's why when power came back and the system was back up and running, the update showed that all the votes that were made while the display was off were captured still, and they are still in the system.
That time when
now,
the system was off, there was so
nobody stopped voting because the display here stopped. We did not turn off the system. The servers were still running in the background.
No.
And all those votes were counted.
No.
In fact, for those who are here when this display was switched off, you can see the difference.
Let me get this.
Question.
Let me get this. For record purposes, at no one moment did you turn off the system because of that breakdown?
No, we turned off the display, but the servers...
No, I mean the system completely, because when you're saying they had slowed it down.
The system has many parts to it. There's a part of the system that receives the votes. There's a part of the system that displays the votes. The part of the system that receives the votes did not stop at any one time. It continued. We just added another channel that was easier for web. Now the part of the system that displays the votes is the one that went off. It was part of the one that was overwhelmed by the server congestion.
My last question before
You asked another question about the decision and how it was taken.
Yes, but let me add on another one. How many voters do you have?
As of now, I need to check.
No, not those who have voted. How many do we have on the voters register? Those who are eligible.
Those who have voted.
No, not those who have voted. The total number of eligible voters.
1 second. It's any member right now who opens the link can know that information.
Just I want to get it from you as the presiding officer. How many voters now?
I can open the system and anyone can see it.
No. If I'm presiding over an exercise, I should be able to tell that I have a number of voters like this. You should be able to tell the exact number of eligible voters. No, please, you can't do that. We are
questions. Let me answer the question. We will close this session in the next 5 minutes. I am taking these last questions and we close this session.
Let me get to know the number of voters.
The total number of voters is 3,100. The total number of voters is 3,000. Can we have order? King Saha, please put yourself to order. Put yourself to order. Can we have some order here? Can we have order? Can we be leaders here? We put ourselves to order. There are 3,100 voters. I hope I've answered your question. The next question was... Please put yourself to order. Please ask your candidate to put themselves to order. you still have any other questions? Is this session over? Okay, I've answered all the other questions. There was one last question about the decision and when it was taken. The mandate to organize the elections is the responsibility of the policy board of UMA. These elections are elections of Uganda Musicians Association, and the association has two centers of power, the board and the executive. The board is responsible for selecting an electoral committee and the head of the electoral committee. They made a decision and I was selected and we took this decision. However, this decision regarding what format or model to use, the constitution does not define which model to use. However, we consulted with the board and the board made this decision. The board made this decision somewhere mid-April. That's when this decision was made, after sitting several times to discuss the various versions of the budget. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Neyazanyo mukulu Jeff mubutuufu nze akalulu konna kazze nga nkagoberera na buli kimu ntambula nakyo era nga ba candidates bannanga abamu bagamba kino tetukikkiriza nze nga ngamba nzikiriza naye olwaleero tukkirize ekiganyo kiba kikoze eki kiba kiganye Jeff olw'ensonga ffe twakedde wano nze ne looya wange wuuno yakedde wano essaawa 12 nga teri muntu yenna yazze wano bw'amala okujja bayisaawa emu nze najjidde nekwokada piki obwedda ndi awo ne tutuuka akalulu katandika okulonda biki system netuuka nevaako completely bweba evuddeko ffe tetumanyi bayiyeeyo obululu bumeka obukoze eki mu butuufu ng'olaba nti ba agents baffe ne batandika okukuba amasimu okuva mu clusters ez'enjawulo nga bagamba bannayo okulonda kuganye nange kennyini ne nneegezaako okweronda mu butuufu ne kugaana. So mu mbeera eyo buli kimu kyonna entambula gye kibadde kitambula bulungi, naye mu butuufu kino olwaleero kikoze eki nze mbadde nsaba nga commission ku lw'obulungi bwa music naffe olw'obulungi bwe twagala wuma ebeerewo ng'abayimbi kino olwaleero mu kisitoopinge tuddemu tutereeze kyembadde nsaba ng'omuntu naye nga mu butuufu results ezinaava mu kino ne bwe naaba nze empangudde kuba nazze nga mmanyi ndi muwanguzi sigenda kuzikkiriza kuba percentage gye mbadde nnyina okuwangulirako abantu bange nze ngimanyi ne bajja gamba tetuli fair sikkiriza mu results zigenda kuva mu kalulu kano. Jeff tuyambe buyambi mukama wange ne police board.
Amanya gange Tiwajimba Mariam, Ganza representative wa King Saha. Chair zengo omuntu actually tubaddeko wano okuva kumakya tuli mu nkayana za kalulu kano ngaba agent wamu ne board eno.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have been advised that our legal counsel should entertain this conversation moving forward because I am not a legal expert to engage with another legal expert. Thank you very much. He will be here in a minute and he can take over any further questions. Our position remains the same. We appreciate all the suggestions. We don't take them lightly. And the board is also paying attention closely. If the decision is made that we postpone the election or redo this election, we will do it. This is an association. We are not doing this for ourselves. We are doing it for our members. If the members deem this necessary, whatever they deem necessary, we will make our best efforts to implement that. All the suggestions are highly valuable and we value them and we are taking them on record.
For unity and transparency, the chairman...
Let's wait for our legal counsel.
Before legal counsel comes, we've heard he's a candidate, he has not cast his vote. Likewise, he has not. Time is coming to 5. Supposing council comes after 5.
The option for them to cast their vote using the web system is available. It's working smoothly.
They have failed and they are here. They thought the system has failed on their part.
They have to open your phone now. If it fails,
Mr. Jeff Mpozi otugamba okwopeninga essimu zaffe kirungi okugulawo essimu zaffe naye olwaliro nze okuva tayimu gye nabadde nnyina okulonderako ne tayimu kati ssaawa eno Jeff obadde free and fair mu kalulu kano tetwagala tulabe nti osika omugwa olw'abantu abamu nze nkusaba ekintu kimu yogera ne police board osazeemu akalulu kano tufune akalulu akali free and fair.
Thank you. Tubagulidde legal council ajja atanalonda tukusaba kwata essimu kulu lawyer saba candidate wo ajjayo essimu alonde kati wekigamba it is good now obeere wano wali witness agamba muterekisa ajjayo essimu kati nga wetuli fenna ajjayo essimu awakana yenna ajjayo essimu Saha ajjayo essimu otukakase in the presence of everybody that you are unable to vote. Saha ajjayo essimu otukakase buli omuntu osobola kulonda kati ajjayo essimu. Challenge your candidate to get his phone and prove that he cannot vote. Let's have evidence here. We want transparency. We want transparency. King Saha, get your phone and vote in the presence of your lawyer. There's no further evidence than that. Get your phone and vote now and prove us wrong. Prove us wrong right now. Prove us. I challenge you. Lord Bitem, King Saha, I challenge you to vote right now.
Voters are not aware about that. But voters are aware. All voters are aware about that. Jeff system Jojo Sawa Mwenda. Omuntu walu akitegeddeko wembalo wejinjo wesoroti. Region is on now. System Jojo Sawa Mwenda. System Sawa Mwenda. They are not aware about the process. Even people are voting twice. People are voting twice. So also which means people are voting twice.
Mr. Chairman, I represent Saha. The system, people have been voting more than 3 times. Myself, I've seen that. I can witness that. The system, people have been voting.
We are now for jail. Let us be systematic. Let us be transparent. Let us create unity.
Balwanireri wetulo kakane
okitegedde muganda bali baleke balwane gwe kakkana
abasajja bagenda tekako ebyuma microphone sijula
bannange bonna abali eyo mwenna musembere muwulirize kyagamba ekisembayo ate temujja kuddeyo ate mugambe nti tayogedde okay ate musirike muwulidde musirikeeko okay thank you
very much bannange bawulirize silence please as the chairman Uganda Musicians Association Electoral Committee, and by the powers vested in me as the Electoral Commissioner of the UMA elections, and with all the overwhelming concerns from the members and the various candidates, I am making a decision to stop these elections. We will announce a way forward in due course. We've had overwhelming challenges with technology. However, we will announce a way forward in due course. Thank you very much.
Saha agents abali ku ground batuwa ekigenda maaso naffe mu technology wetumanyi netugezaako system gyetegereza tugenza okulaba nga ebigenda maaso si birungi system mita yagiremeredde ne bagiyimiriza abantu babadde balonda emirundi mingi ebisuka mikulu mu 23 abalala babadde bakola system breaking down breaking a number ezabo be balowooza nga bawagira kingisa ngabaddemu emivuyo mingi naye tuli basanyufu nti jeff ne ttiimu ye nga bakulembera akakiiko bateekeza decision ejja kuyamba nnyo industry era tuddeyo amateeka gategerezebwe bulungi n'okulonda ku paka tugenda kutuula nabo tulabe nti buli kimu tukitereeza wabeerewo okulonda okw'amazima n'obwenkanya okujja okuyamba industry eno okugenda mu maaso tuli wano lwa kuyamba industry so si lwakutabamu ekyo tugenda kuddamu tukitunulemu